Hey everyone, so in the YouTube automation industry, there are tons of niches that can be extremely profitable, which is why in today's video, I'll be going over the top 5 automation niches to make $300 or more per day in passive income. We're also going to be diving into how you can get started in each of these niches with the least amount of money possible. Now, I've started many channels myself, and I've done a ton of research on this topic. So be sure to watch the entire video if you want to know exactly which niches are the most profitable for you to start today. Let's get into it. Okay, number 5 on the list is inspirational and motivational content. This is basically where you're just going to highlight and compile interviews, podcasts, speeches, rules, philosophies, and advice from public personalities that can inspire and motivate people. There are so many stories out there and pieces of content that have already been created that you can sort of repurpose, and this can give a ton of value to your viewers. So if you do a quick search on YouTube and just search something like motivation, you'll see that there are so many great channels out there that are in this exact niche. For example, there's Grow Successful, there's Motivational Surge, there's Law of Attraction Coaching, and of course, Motiversity. If you guys check out Motiversity's channel, you guys can see they have so many videos, they post very consistently, and all their stuff is just really all about motivation. They're essentially creating compilations of speeches that are given by other successful people. They're putting a lot of B-roll and other footage on top of it. They're adding text, and with that, this creates a very good viewing experience for their audience. So yeah, they have almost 3 million subscribers. I'm sure they make a lot of money in both AdSense as well as brand deals and other things. So yeah, seeing channels like this that absolutely crush it in this niche is super inspiring, and it actually makes me want to create something like this as well. I also know just how helpful channels like this can be. When I was starting off with entrepreneurship, I would watch channels like this and I'd get a ton of inspiration from them. So not only are you making passive income with your YouTube automation channel, but you're also helping people. Make sure that when you do this though, you're taking your own spin on things. You're not just copying from other channels, and think of how you can create your own blue ocean in this particular niche. If you guys can do it correctly, then I guarantee you it's going to be very successful and you're going to be able to make a lot of money. By far one of the best niches that you guys can get into today, but I will say there is a good amount of competition, so you will need to innovate somehow. As far as the B-roll that you guys use, there are so many different subscriptions that you guys can sign up for. For example, we really like to use Motion Array. There's also lots of free alternatives like Pexels. And then in terms of the music, we love using a platform like EpidemicSound. This is what we use for all of our channels. It's super affordable, and if you guys can get good sound design in your videos, that's going to add so much to the quality. So yeah, all these links, all these resources that we're talking about, we're going to put the links down below in the description. So the 4th niche we're talking about today is entertainment gossip and news content. So this is a really great niche if you like diving into news and gossip online. I mean, of course, you don't necessarily need to be a big consumer of this content, but I recommend you have at least some sort of interest in it. Otherwise, you're not going to make content for a long time. There are a lot of successful channels in this particular niche, like This Happened. They have close to 500,000 subscribers, and I know for sure they are doing really well with their channel. The more controversy, the more clickbait that you guys can get into your titles as well as your thumbnails, the better your videos are going to do. So basically, you're going to want to have someone or yourself be really into celebrity news as well as what's sort of trending with all the drama in the world. Send out these prompts to people that are writing your scripts, have them write these scripts with a bunch of research, send that script over to your voiceover person, which you guys can actually use AI for that if you want. After that voiceover is done, you'll basically send it over to your video editor. They're going to compile a lot of public footage, edit that together over the voiceover that you provide them, and turn that into a video for your channel. Now with a niche like this, it's particularly useful to use a lot of bright colors and really impactful words in your titles, because the whole thing with this niche is that you want to grab people's attention, and the people that enjoy this type of content, they are more susceptible to that. Videos in a niche like this are going to do better when you have a lot of consistent, frequent uploads. So it won't really do well if you only post, let's say, once a week. A niche like this is going to require a big team, a lot of content being pushed out weekly. And when you can do that, the views are going to stack on each other. You're going to gain momentum, and that is sort of how the channel is going to grow. In terms of monetizing this, one thing that I would do is start building up a newsletter. Turn the content that you're making into maybe like a weekly newsletter. Collect a bunch of emails. That way you own the information for your audience. And then from those emails, you'll be able to sell any other product that you want to do. All right, the 3rd niche we're talking about is going to be sports content. Now with sports content, there are so many different things that you guys can do. You guys can do sports highlights. You guys can do recaps. You guys can do sports news, top moments, top athletes, lots of things like that. Yeah, this is a great niche because there are so many people watching sports on YouTube. So if you can get a small percentage of the audience, that's going to equate to a lot of views. That's going to equate to a lot of subscriber growth, and that will build you a channel that you can eventually sell if you want to. It makes sense that a lot of people are watching sports on YouTube because 79% of YouTube sports viewers actually say that YouTube has sports and fitness video content that they can't find elsewhere. And then among YouTube sports viewers, 57% say they watch related video content before sports events. So one thing you guys can do in this niche is take advantage of upcoming sports events and create controversial and entertaining content related to it. For example, with the recent World Cup, there was a lot of opportunity for making content around that. You can even do live streams with you watching the videos and reacting to it. But of course, that's not faceless. You do want to make that completely faceless. You can actually do a voice reaction, or you can just hire someone else to do that. But for the videos that work best in this particular niche, I'm going to really recommend doing top X lists. So these are going to be videos like top 5 moments in NBA history, or top basketball shots that actually went in. Stuff like that, where you actually add value to the viewer by compiling different clips that you can find online and then turning that into a list, right? People really love these, and I think that's going to really do well in this particular niche. This is a great niche for automation because a lot of the footage that you guys can use, you're going to be able to get online for free. It really doesn't require a face or a host. Instead, it's all just voiceovers, B-roll, and some type of script. So yeah, a really great niche that you guys can get into. And of course, being in sports offers you the opportunity to monetize in so many different ways. So yeah, as you build up your channel, as you build up your newsletter, as you build up, your products that you sell to your audience, that can turn into a full-fledged business. Also, if there's any trending athletes at the time, I recommend you guys make a lot of content about that. And yeah, the whole thing is make content on trends, add some value to your viewers. And if you guys do that, you're going to do extremely well. You guys can take a look at channels like Hoopflix. I know this channel is doing extremely well. They have over 76 million lifetime views on their channel with only about 30 uploads. So yeah, get creative. And overall, this is a great niche for your YouTube automation business. The second YouTube automation niche we're talking about today is going to be luxury content. Now, I don't know about a lot of you guys, but I am extremely intrigued by the whole luxury world. And if you do a simple search for luxury on YouTube, you're gonna see a ton of content from like Vice, Passport Heavy, Luxury TV, and so on. So obviously luxury things, just by definition, it's not accessible to most people, but a lot of people are really curious about what it's like to live a very luxurious lifestyle. So by creating content about luxury and really nice experiences or things, there are gonna be so many people out there in the world who are very interested in this and they will watch it. So if you guys can do like top X lists in terms of luxury content, if you guys can do videos about how luxury things are made, all this stuff is very, very doable for an automation channel. All it requires is, of course, a voiceover, a lot of B-roll that you guys can get online for free, and most importantly, a very good script, right? So I think a lot of people, they might get into this niche and create a lot of subpar content that's not very good. But if you guys can get over that barrier, if you guys can find someone to help you write really good scripts in this niche, pair that with a good voiceover artist as well as a good editor, that's going to create a lot of really interesting content that, if you make a good thumbnail for it, as well as add a good title, that's going to result in a very, very high click-through rate. People are always really intrigued about things that they can't get themselves. So a niche like this really taps into that. In terms of monetizing this type of niche, of course, one thing that I always recommend doing is, of course, building up a newsletter that's going to give you actual emails for your audience that you guys can actually sell to in the future. And the great thing about luxury content, of course, is that the AdSense revenues in this niche are pretty high. I also think this niche is not particularly saturated, so there is still a lot of room for people to come in, add their own spin, add their own blue ocean value, and sort of gain some market share there. I also think this type of niche is not going to go away anytime soon. People are always going to be really curious about luxury items and experiences. So if you guys can build a long-term channel in this niche, I think it could be really, really good. And the number one on the list in terms of YouTube automation niches is going to be tech content. Of everything we talked about in this video, I think tech content is going to be the most lucrative just because of all the different opportunities you have to monetize, as well as the very high AdSense rates. With tech, there's always new and improved things coming out. So that's really good for channels like this because you guys always have new things to make content about. This works perfectly for a YouTube automation channel because you simply keep an eye out for new tech coming out, new things, new trends. Send those ideas over to a scriptwriter who will help do research and write write that script out, send it to an editor who will collect different footage about that tech, and then turn that into a video. Now, the best tech channels, of course, are not going to be completely faceless. They're going to have some type of host or actually show the product in use, and that will require you to actually, go out there, buy the product until you get to a certain size where they'll actually just send you the product for free. But until then, you can buy the product. You can actually write it off as a business expense. And yeah, I know that's something that a lot of these tech YouTubers will do because it definitely does reduce the amount of taxes that they need to pay. But that doesn't mean you have to have some type of host or in-person thing. There's still so many ways you guys can make automated videos in the tech industry. You just need to get a little bit more creative. Now, when you do this correctly, you can also pair this with affiliate marketing, which makes a lot of money for tech channels. Since a lot of tech is very, very expensive, the commission rates on these, while a small percentage, can actually really add up to a lot. For example, if you put a link to, let's say, a MacBook Pro, it costs $2,000 and someone clicks on it and buys it. If we have, let's say, a commission rate of 2%, that is $40, which is not bad. When you scale this with more volume and more views, then those commission rates can really, really add up and be a big portion of the revenue you're bringing in. The other thing is that so many people are actually looking at YouTube reviews before buying tech. So if you guys can do reviews, then that is very, very optimal. I looked it up and actually 64% of people prefer to see a review on YouTube before investing in any type of tech gadget. So yeah, what you guys can do is go with the strategy, right? Make a lot of evergreen content, for example, reviews and stuff like that, or comparisons between different products that will continue to get a lot of views and affiliate commissions even after 2 to 3 years. If you guys can do this with a lot of consistency and a lot of volume, that's going to result in a very, very big paycheck. So yeah, those are 5 amazing YouTube automation niches that you guys should check out in 2023. Of course, with any niche, you guys can outsource everything, right? Set aside a budget for the voiceover, set aside a budget for the script writing and research, set aside a budget for the editor. Make sure you know all the finances and costs going into each video. That way you guys can know what your break-even point is. Be very, very consistent with this. Expect to lose money for the first few months at least. And at some point, when your channel is large enough and you're able to monetize in multiple ways, when done right, your channel should definitely be profitable. So yeah, if you guys want to learn everything about creating a YouTube automation channel, that video is going to be extremely helpful. All the other resources we talked about in this video, they'll be available down below. And yeah, overall, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Hope it sparked some new creative ideas. And of course, if you don't choose any of these niches, there are so many more out there. You really just need to put in the work, get creative, add value to your audience, and do that consistently for a long time. Cool, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. This whole channel is dedicated at giving you guys free content and guides about how to start your business. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video.